Hey everybody! This week I want to talk about how the weather has an impact on fishing. So like many of you have probably heard, we're being hit by this really big solar storm. And this is the biggest solar storm that's hit the earth in like 20 years. So it got me thinking about how does that impact fishing? Normally, when there's a big weather event going on, like a hurricane or a tsunami or anything, really out of the ordinary, I've noticed that it has an impact on the fish. And this all started when my dad and I were fishing, and you could see in the distance that there was like a little bit of thunder and lightning. And I kind of made a joke and said, "Hey dad, you think the fish are going to bite before the thunder and lightning gets here and we get rained on?" And surprisingly enough, it did bite. The fish did bite just as that storm was coming in. So I started to pay more attention to the weather after that. And I've noticed personally when there's a lot of thunder, lightning, a big storm, I'm not sure if it's like the barometric pressure in the environment changes or exactly what's happening. But I noticed there is a difference in the fish biting. I've actually caught more fish, I believe, in the rain or like during rainy weather than I have during just the regular sunny days. And I'm not exactly sure why that is. And I also feel like I know I fish a lot more in the early mornings, and that could definitely be a reason why I catch more fish at that time. Simply spending more time fishing, it increases your odds significantly of catching fish. But I also wonder if it has to do with as the sun rises, the heat, when it comes into the atmosphere, it does change the barometric pressure. And it also has to do with, I live on an island, right? So the wind patterns change. And all of those things put together, it actually might have an effect on fishing. I think that a lot of people don't pay attention enough to the weather around them. In Hawaii, we don't have major seasonal changes like on the mainland or other places in the world. But I do notice that when we have a lot of rain, the fishing is different. Personally, something that I picked up on is when it rains a bunch for a long period of time and the water is really murky and brown, the papio actually bite really well, and so do the barracuda. I'm not exactly sure if it has to do with the fresh water or the murkiness of the water, but it's something that I've noticed. It's similar to on the mainland when the water temperatures start to get a little warmer. The fish, like the bass and all of those things, they start to breed, they start nesting. And that's definitely, one of the best times to be fishing for bass. So I think that weather is definitely something we need to pay more attention to. The weather changes all around us. Every day there's a new set of weather events that are happening. And while they may not be as drastic or dramatic as a tsunami or a hurricane, there is some sort of effect that the weather has on the fish. So think about that and pay a little more attention to the weather the next time you go fishing. If you have any questions for me, feel free to drop it down in the comments and I'll be sure to answer. Have a great week, everybody.